Hi everyone, Laszlo's here, and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can use index and match to do complex lookups. You will come across situations when VLOOKUP won't do any good. It could not do the lookup that you wanted because the criteria was too complex. That is exactly when index and match can come in handy. In this video I'm going to explain to you first how index works in easy terms, and then I'm going to show you how match works, and then we combine these two together. I have here a list of divisions, apps, revenue and profit. The aim of our formula is that we want someone to select an app here. So let's say the already selected blended, and we want to get the division first. So you can see by the order of these, apps is here, division is here, right? Would VLOOKUP work? Well, the classical VLOOKUP is not going to work, right? Because you will need to have an apps on the left side and division on the right side. So that's why index and match is great for this. So let me show you what index does. The first argument in index is the array argument. The array is where my answer is. It doesn't matter what we are looking for. It doesn't matter in this case that we are looking for an app and it's called blended. We only need to select where we are going to find our answer. If the answer could be here or here, I have to highlight those. I have to include those as well. In this case, we know what we want and the division is somewhere here, and that is all we need to include. The next argument is how many rows do we need to go down and how many columns do we need to look across. So let's see, if we say move down 2 rows, closing bracket, because these two are the only required arguments. The last one is in square brackets and that means it's optional. It's not necessary, and also in this case we only have one column, so I'm going to put 2. I got game. Why? I index these, right? It counts 1, 2 and this is game. So it returned the second place. What happens if we put 1 as a column number in there and close bracket? It is still game, it's 1 column. If I put 0 for column, it is still the game, nothing changes. Excel knows it's 1 column. What happens if we put a 2 as a column number? We receive a ref error. We are moving outside of our highlighted area. If we really think that the answer can be there, we just need to extend our array argument. So instead of A6 to A15, we are going to look until B15 and then it works. So that is all with index. The part that we want to automate, and of course we won't be putting 2s and 1s and the numbers in. The part we want to automate is the row number argument. That is where you need a function that is going to return a number to the index. Which function returns a number? Let's say we have a count function, count a, row, also we have the column function. There are cases when you can use this function as arguments in the index function, but in most cases, match function works in harmony with index. Let's just write here and see what match does on its own. Match needs a lookup value. What are we looking for? In this case, we are looking for blended and it needs a lookup array. So where should it find this? In this case, it is here. What is very important with match function can only look one way, from top to down. Sometimes you could use these as arguments in the index function, but in most cases, the function that works in harmony with index that you are going to need is the match function. Let's just write here and see what match does on its own. Okay, so that is where it should find it, and then the last argument is the match type. Do you want an exact match, less than or greater than? In most cases, you are going to need an exact match. That is similar to the false argument in VLOOKUP. If your data is sorted and you are looking for an approximate match, then you are going to need less than or greater than, but majority of the cases it is going to be 0. So what are we going to get? 6. That means that blended is in the 6th position in here. Is it the 6th? Yes. That is exactly the argument that we are going to return to the index function. Let's type the full formula now. So first argument for index is where we think the answer is, the array that contains the answer. What is the row argument? We are going to use match argument to figure it out for the index. And we are going to match this one in here, and we are going to look for an exact match. Close the brackets 2 times. Now the important thing is that we have to have the same array length for both index and match functions, because they need to be in sync. This gives us back productivity. If the array length are not the same, it is going to be returning the wrong address to the index function. Now we are going to do the same for the profit. We are going to index what? This column, right? That's all we need. After that, we are going to use the match function. What are we looking up? I'm looking up blended. Where are we looking it up? In here. Arrays must have the same length. We are looking for an exact match. Close the bracket, and that is our number. That is a simple index and match. What if we wanted to switch between profit and revenue here? Let's add a validation to this. I'm going to put data validation, lists, and I want these two, revenue and profit. So what I want to do is to be able to switch between revenue and profit, and this number should obviously change. How do I do that? For that, we need to use the column argument. In order to do that, we need to update our lookup array in our index to include the revenue column, because our answer should be there somewhere. It depends on what we are selecting here or in the dropdown. First, let's update the lookup array. The row argument should remain the same, as we won't add additional row to our array. The next question we need to answer is, how many columns do we move? And that depends on what we have selected here. So we are going to match again, because we need the number again. Match again for this, that is my lookup value, and where are we looking this up? In here. You see the width of the lookup array is the same as the width of the index. It has to be in sync. Then we need a perfect match, close bracket and hit enter. Now what happens is that we go for revenue, we get revenue. We change this to, for example, Pochettino. Pochettino is a game, and this much revenue and this much profit it has. What I suggest you to do is that the next time you have a lookup, don't use a regular VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP. Try to use index and match, because that's the only way that you are going to get practice. In a future video, I am going to show you how you can use it to solve more complex problems, because in real life scenario, you don't have your data as simple as this. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe to get notifications when I put out more videos that are like this one.